Hello. The level to which American Airlines employees have demonstrated egregious misconduct is sickening and warrants this video. I had the most disgusting experience today, November 5th, 2024, at the American Airlines counter at the Jacksonville International Airport, that is in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, first of all, I would hope that when a company hires people, that they vet them and that persons have a presence of mind and the ability to demonstrate thought beyond that of a mindless goldfish in a fishbowl. However, the ladies, and I use that word generously, at the check-in counter at 4 a.m. on November 5th, 2024, demonstrated mindless goldfish ignorance with respect to my request for a gate pass so that I could accompany my partner to the gate as he was grieving the loss of a close relative. We divulged this very personal and vulnerable information to the staff. They quickly said no. I asked to speak to a supervisor on duty. Her name is Tiffany. She sauntered out, sloth-like, and when I asked if on an exception basis they could grant a gate pass, she quoted policy. The policy is that you can only accompany elderly persons or minors under the age of 18. That is what I was told. Because my partner is grieving, I did not want to make more of a big deal. And he said, "Hon, it's okay. I'll be okay." So I saw him off. I had to say goodbye at the TSA checkpoint, but it didn't sit well with me. So I went back to the counter and I said, "I don't understand what's going on." First of all, I actually asked to speak to someone who could help, the same supervisor I had spoken to previously, and a very rude agent jumped in and they were trying to basically figure out what I needed. And when the agent jumped in and I hadn't started speaking, she said, "Oh, she was denied a gate pass." And I said, that's actually not what I wanted to talk about, because I had concerns since my partner's flight was also delayed due to Tropical Storm Raphael by an hour and a half. And I wanted to make sure he would not miss his connection, which was going to be in Miami. So I don't know why she's jumping in and immediately figuring that that is the issue. So I did go to another agent at the counter and I started to speak with her, and I asked about the information for the flight. I literally was asking about the itinerary itself, not my partner's specific itinerary, just the flight path and any compromise that are risks to the flight that would have resulted from this storm. However, I did then bring up the gate pass issue. And I said, okay, so if somebody is elderly, what age does elderly start at? She couldn't answer me. So elderly means I have wrinkles, that I'm in a wheelchair, because I know some very active, very healthy and fit elderly persons. The agent was rude and said, "I'm not going to get into this with you. You can go ahead and contact customer relations." I also asked, what about if somebody has a cognitive issue? Now, as far as I know, not everybody displays their needs externally. So you cannot look at somebody and determine that just because they're not of a certain age, whatever that mystery age is, and sitting in a wheelchair, that they weren't being accompanied. I cannot believe the callousness that ensued. After I was told to just go to customer relations, I called American Airlines, and the reservations agent that spoke to me said they can't really do anything from the hotline, but there is something called a station manager, and I can try to find the authoritative figures at the airport outside of the American Airlines staff. So I went ahead and I did so. I found the head of the TSA, and he very politely also expressed condolences, and he went to the counter with my driver's license to try to get me a gate pass. Now, very important is this: I did not go all the way to the counter with him. I actually stayed by the men's bathroom, which is around the corner, and this would be verified by security footage. After about 10 minutes, he came back and said, unfortunately, they denied the gate pass even when I asked. And I said to him, what is interesting is when I was asking for the gate pass, they also said they're not making exceptions because TSA at that airport has typically complained that too many gate passes are being issued. This leader confirmed to me that that is not true. Furthermore, it is an off-peak time of day, 4 a.m. in the morning. And remember, this is Jacksonville. This is not Chicago, O'Hare, or some other major international airport. There were very few flights, very few persons. The wait time through TSA was 5 minutes. So he was unsuccessful, and apparently they became even more brazen and confirmed that they were going to stay by their no, just because. So I contacted the local airport police, and they came and spoke to me. One officer was very busy, had other things to do. 2 others came and were very helpful and said, okay, we'll speak to the agents. Again, I waited by the men's bathroom. I did not go to the counter. When the officer came back in about 2 minutes, he said that the agents said no, and they are now requesting the police to tell me to go on my way, and that the police should do no further business with me. First of all, the police are not doing business with me. They are trying to help me. Second of all, they lied to the police and said that I had been harassing them. I don't know how an inquiry after my partner had gone through TSA counts as harassment. I have the right to ask a question. You're getting money for the flight. You're being paid to stand there and speak to me if I have a question. Furthermore, that notwithstanding, I had been a member of their frequent flyer club advantage, whatever you call it, for years, and that doesn't matter. I did not disclose that at the time. I'm a person at a counter with a relative who experienced a loss. Don't quote policy and say, oh, you're either elderly or you're a minor, and that's it. TSA said it would have been okay, and they also confirmed that airlines issue gate passes all the time, and they are befuddled as to why American Airlines and these women were insisting on saying no with such vehemence. The police officer was kind, and basically I told him I was going to peruse other parts of the airport before TSA, and that was fine. But the fact that they lied, and this is recorded on the body cam of the police officer, and told him I had been harassing them, means that American Airlines employees are liars, and they are lying to law enforcement. And that is basically defamation. Defamation. If I did not show up to the counter twice and ask TSA to support one of your fellow airport staff members, and asked law enforcement, one of the civil servants, to ask for help, that is not me harassing you. That is me trying to escalate and show due diligence. So, to all of those women who were on duty around 4 a.m. on November 5th, shame on you. To the American Airlines Corporation, please research this matter, and please get human resources involved. Your customer relations avenue is abysmal. And secondly, apart from all of that HR stuff, people should be able to think. You have policy, but policy is subject to interpretation. If you cannot tell me what age elderly starts at, and if it is just blanket, if you're elderly, you can be accompanied, then it makes no sense that somebody who is emotionally distraught because they lost a relative and would have to wait at the gate by themselves when their partner is there to support. And you are not a popular major airport, and it is 4 a.m. in the morning, and the person has a 6 a.m. flight that was then moved to 7:30, still very early. And it is a Tuesday in November. It is not Thanksgiving weekend. It's not Christmas. It's not the 4th of July. Use your common sense. To Tiffany, you should not be a supervisor. To each and every one of you who knows who I am and who ganged up and told the police collectively that I should not be served any further, you know where you can go. Do better, because your behavior is disgusting, and I'm disgusted that American Airlines would hire these individuals and that they behave this way with impunity.